So hi everyone. Thanks and sorry for this inconvenience. But anyways, let's start. I'm just recapping the classes that we have done, and we can go ahead and discuss about the data model today. Okay. But before we start anything, I would like to give a recap so that you can just recall everything and engage with the classes. Okay, so we understood what exactly is the step, how it works, what is the full form of step. Okay, and how do we call the step in different terms. Okay, and we also talked about the versions of the step, how it got started. Okay, and how they release the fixes or how they enrich the step, on the quarterly basis. Okay, and where we can go and see what are the new updates in the steps. Okay, so this is when they have started, and we know the SaaS has been introduced in 10.1 version. Okay, and currently, and the year 2023.2, the version was 11.2, and the naming convention changed from 2023.2, and they started following with the years. Okay, and now we are at 2026.2. So just 2 to 3 days before, as I said, every quarter end they release the new versions, and they have released the new version just 2 days ago. Okay, which is 2026.2, and obviously it will go on. And we talked about the on-premise and SaaS versions, right? So what is the difference between on-premise and SaaS? Okay, on-premise is all about owning the infrastructure by the company, and SaaS is all about hosting your application in the STIBO systems. Okay, and we have something called self-service portal introduced only for SaaS customers. And for on-prem, there is no self-service portal option provided. And we know for on-premises, so there is a end of on-premise has been announced for STIBO systems, which is 2027.4. And from 2028 versions, whosoever would like to use latest versions from 2028, so they should be using the SaaS versions. Okay, and I also discussed how do you identify whether you are using or your project is part of the on-premise or SaaS. Okay, so this is how you can. So if you're working on a SaaS, on-premise project, it is going to be a system name.companyname.com, which is going to be a domain name. Okay, company name. You can see it here. The system name is going to be a dev.amazon.com. If the same Amazon company is moving to SaaS, if they want to shift to SaaS, okay, from on-prem, then their environments or their URL going to be changed like this. So every URL that ends with stibosystem.com is considered as a SaaS. Okay. And we also discussed, some of the technical STIBO terms, and the topics that we are going to cover are, good to remember is about data model, inbound integrations, outbound integrations, okay, and all you can see from here. Okay, and also we discussed about, how we can get the data. Okay, it's all about bringing the data to step. Okay, this is just a high level overview. Yeah, how we can get the data from any source system to step systems. Okay, for example, this is one of the source system who can send the data to the step. Okay, this is another source system who can input some of the information to step. And SAP is some kind of material creation or material master who can send the material information to the step. Okay, and in the future or upcoming classes, we are going to discuss how exactly, this standard formats of the step, or how exactly middleware works, what is the uses of middleware, and all can be discussed in the future classes. Okay, and as discussed, okay, it's all about the documentation. So anytime if you have any questions, okay, you're free to refer the public documentation accessible to everyone. Okay, and if you want to check anything regarding the latest updates, Okay, like latest version updates that they are releasing, every quarter can also be visible or can be accessed from here. You can see these are some of the, as I said, so this is the latest version 2026.2. So they have brought some, AI new features, and they have enhanced a lot of AI features in 2026.2. And there is a change there is some enhancement for the event queues as well, event queue processing and lot. So everything can be, accessible from this public documentation. Okay. And today we are going to discuss about bringing the data in. For example, we are here in the step, okay, and you are in a discussion with a client, okay, configuring the data model for the first time in the system. Okay, so without data model, we cannot bring the data from source system to step. Okay, even if you bring, you should have some placeholder to store the data, right? So today it's all about we understand how we can understand the data model, okay, how we can bring the data in step, and how to store the data inside the step. Okay, so that's what we are going to discuss. So we are going to take one of the product information or product website. Okay, and I'll just explain you how you can understand the data. Okay, how you can design the structure and how you implement it in a STIBO systems. Okay, yeah.